I am particularly offended by other people's
We're not
bad
supposed to talk
habits
when this goes,
that are
right?
not the same as my own at the present time. The way they always do those things, this and that and other stuff that I don't have the time, money, or energy to do anymore. But if you've got some things to say about stuff I do every day, that is not the same as yourself.
I want to do it. I want to do a dubstep.
Tell me who, that's WHO, died and made you king.
The Story of Yee, Part 2. This morning was my father's funeral. At the procession, my brother asked me to say a few words. I told him I only needed one. With confidence, I approached the podium, gazed out upon the gathering of sad faces. I cleared my throat and leaned into the microphone. Yeet! I spat. Suddenly, my father leapt from his handcrafted mahogany coffin, the gunshot wound still in his chest. He sprinted up to the podium with the energy of a man without a gunshot wound in his chest. Y'all hitting that yeet at my funeral? He ejaculated. He raised his hand to thump me. Not so fast, Pa. I grabbed his hand. You ain't thumping no more. My father looked at me with eyes as open as the gunshot wound in his chest. A tear fell from his right eye, which also had a monocle. The student becomes the teacher, he said. The student becomes the yeecher, I corrected him. Alexa, play Despacito. To be concluded? No, that's the end of it. That's the end of the
Was she really
Concluded.
Where'd Alexa go?
I don't have an Alexa anymore.
Oh.
That
Broke a year ago.
That was just part of
It's like
the.
that-
That was part of the. He yelled that at the funeral. Alexa
Yeah, maybe that was part of it.
came out of the coffin.
I could have told Google to do it, but it would have said, "You don't have a premium membership. Here's a Despacito inspired playlist," and play a bunch of songs I did not want. Because that's what a Google Home's for.
God damn these robots! I'll never have one. I'll never have one.
We'll see
Dude,
about
they are nice. I like it. And when mine broke, I was so pissed off because I was like, I never realized how much I relied on that thing.
They'll be
I'm sure-
government issued.
Yeah, they'll be government issued.
Yeah. People will be happy. They're like, "Oh, the government's giving these away for free. Awesome."
Yeah.
Andrew Yang is giving one out to
Every
Every
yeeter out
family.
there.
Every
Yes.
yeeter out there, every household that says yeet through a Google Home is going to be on the list.
For every daughter
hard
that you let
politicians.
Biden sniff, he'll give you an Alexa.
But if she touches his legs hair, his legs hair,
His one leg's hair.
one leg hair, it'll stand straight up and point right at her.
It'll say yeet.
It'll say yeet. That's right. That's what the leg hair says.
Stands
Becca's phone
proud.
will be filled out by now. She
Well,
were here.
fellas.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace, Becca. Rest in peace, Patrick. They both. Unfortunately, they both passed away. They both yeeted away
They
in
both
separate
yeeted away.
separate train accidents. It was terrible. I don't know how. What are the odds that they would both die in separate trains in separate states in the same day? I don't
know. Rogue missiles strike U.S.
Yeah.
forces. Boeing 737 crashes in Iran, and then
Yeah.
2 passing trains in the night.
Goddamn Iranians did it.
That's gotta be.
Well, what I don't understand is we ain't making any money anyways, and Patrick gets a $50 scratch-off card, and he's done with the podcast instantaneously.
Oh,
His
that's what
words were, "I'm
Oh.
fucking retiring. Fuck off, all y'all."
He's like, we
Catch
got
you in the fun
one more
pages.
Patreon subscriber, and peace out.
He's like, I'm out.
Peace
We're
out.
done. Good luck.
That extra $2 a month was enough to put me over the top.
And he jumped on that train
Yep.
and unfortunately died.
Now, if he hadn't
Funny
given
how
us
life
all the
works.
finger on his way leaving the station.
Funny how things happen like that.
Yeah.
You have the world 1 minute and the next it's all taken away.
Yeah.
That's what God does. I read that in the Bible.
That's what
That's
God
what
wants.
God wants.
He'll do that to you. So yeah, we 4 of us here tonight. Verbal Assault Podcast.
Just the bros.
Just
Yeah.
the bros.
Bro squad.
minus one.
-1, bro.
Minus 1.5.
1.5 bro. Becca's one of the bros. At this point, Becca knows how to be a bro.
Brecker the bro.
Brecker bro.
Until you say that one thing she doesn't like.
I thought it was
And then-
pretty much anything that was spoken over the Haywood Banks song.
Oh yeah, it could
Well,
be
Or anything that has to do with breaking a rule.
Mm.
that. Yeah.
What's the word?
Yeah.
Sounding?
Well, that is a rule. That was a rule. The
Yeah.
rule
Sounding
was
the rule.
respect Haywood Banks,
Yeah.
and you cannot break that rule
Yeah.
because he's like a god to her.
Yeah.
Steve-O, how you doing today, man?
Good, man. I've had a good week. We had a good launch. There's a few more Starlink satellites up there, y'all. Let's get close.
Yeah.
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 Dude, I saw that one picture you took because I am sort of on Twitter sometimes now,
Yeah.
like once a week.
Mhm.
The one with like the white, I don't know what it was. It was like a canal or something, but
Yeah,
he
yeah.
had like
The bridge there. Yeah.
yeah, that was cool as shit. That was like something out of a fantasy movie. Man.
Yeah, I was
That
gonna
awesome.
talk about our night and show that picture, but I figured we'd go through introductions because there's shit to talk about with Starlink and Space Force, all good stuff.
Okay, cool. Dave. Now, Dave, got to save the fury. Apparently, Dave's got some rage he's been storing up.
Dave, besides your unquenchable thirst for blood, how are you?
You know, if we address this during introductions, we go on. I mean, we could address this, and I could take Becca's place on introductions, and it would take us a minute. But I mean, I'm in fuego.
Mm.
In fuego.
Okay, that sounds. Let's jump to Brad. Real quick.
Let's go to
And then
me.
we'll come back.
We're getting a little. We're scared over here.
I want to give
Yeah.
you time to cool off a little bit.
It's not happening. It's not happening. I've had all fucking day. No.
It's building like a pressure cooker.
I'm worried. Yeah.
Man. Speaking of pressure cooking, I have a couple fun things going on. Some fun things, for instance. So, anybody here ever heard of Sous Vide?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Tell me all
Oh,
about it.
neat. Well, good. I don't have to fucking explain it, but
You
I
like
guess I will
cook
anyway.
shit,
Yeah, you
put
do.
it in
I
a
will
bag in
anyway.
hot water.
Yeah. What
All
about
right.
listeners?
Like in a
What-
bag.
Plastic baggie.
We'll get there. Okay, so
It's like hippie boiling.
that's not how I would
Right.
phrase it, but
Like-
I'm not saying you're wrong either. So went to or got a sous vide machine for Christmas because I fucking asked for it and somebody got me one. And yeah, doing the whole workout thing, you're like, man, protein's fucking expensive. There'd be a way to buy cheap ass meat and fucking figure out a way to make it not taste like cheap ass meat. You know, that'd be a cool thing to do. So got a sous vide machine, and then I was like, all right, went to the grocery, saw these bitches were a fucking buy one, get one. So I got like 5 pounds for $20, which is not a terrible deal for me. Not a terrible deal. Anyway, never had London broil. London broil is a cheap cut of meat. It's very lean, not a lot of fat in it, so not a lot of flavor in it. Probably why it's cheap. Nobody really wants it because of those reasons, but I wanted it because it's fucking lean and I can eat it on cut days or days where I'm not working out and actually have meat and pretend to make tacos because ground beef still has a lot of fat in it, even if you get the 90-10. Anyway, bought this London broil and so Put a nice little crust on it after I cut it up. You may recognize that as Brad's patented taco seasoning blend.
Oh
Oh yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I can see that shit from a mile away, man.
Fucking big fans out there, believe it or not.
Just stay close to the toilet the next day, y'all.
Stay close to the toilet, but it's worth it. It's worth it, man. It's like you go out and get super shit faced and then you feel like shit for 3 days, but you had fun. You had fun.
Yeah.
It was tasty.
Fucking cut up all the meat, put it in these bags so that way I could freeze it without fucking it up. That's the one that's going to get cooked over there. I guess I should be moving the cursor over here. That's the one that's going to get cooked.
You got something sucking the air out of there? Those look very
water.
well sealed.
So this pot has water in it, and turns out if you dunk a plastic bag and leave the edge at the top just a little bit cracked, you can get all the air out of it, and that way you don't have to buy a vacuum sealer because those things are
How about that?
Wow.
Fucking
some science shit.
Magnets, how they work.
Huh.
So a sous vide machine, to explain, is pretty much like giving your meat an extended hot tub bath. Like you get in the hot tub and you're like, I feel very warm. Well, this machine here heats the water to a very specific temperature and circulates it around. You got your meat in a vacuum sealed bag, so it's getting the most contact area with the water through the bag and, not fucking up your meat. And let that bitch set for 7 hours. I took that picture before I went to work today, set it to 131 degrees so it would come out nice and rare. And later, I had this. This is fresh out of the bag. You got to pat it off just to get the excess fat moisture off of there. That's not so bad. Put a nice sear on it, looking tasty. But then, oh, motherfucker, you cut into that bitch. Look at that. Perfect fucking rare. Oh. Dude. Oh, I made some shitty tacos with them. Didn't know what to do. Thought I had more shells than I did. But the taco shells, they just fucking still tasted like butter.
Tender?
Oh my God, so fucking tender. Yeah, all it does is tenderize it. And since it's not going up past rare, it's fully cooked through. It's fucking magic. French magic. Funny.
So it's just a thing you put in a pot, any pot you have.
Yeah. Any pot you had, like the pot that I used for this is like the pot insert from my Instapot or Instant Pot, one of those pretty much electric pressure cookers.
So that thing's just kind of circulating the water and keeping it at the right temperature?
Yeah, it's got a heating element in the bottom and something to circulate the water. That's exactly right. Cool. And the fun thing is, this thing's connected to Bluetooth, but it didn't give me a notification when it was ready. So that's kind of lame.
You could stick that down in someone's fish tank and have fresh fish in the evening.
You could. Yeah. It could be.
It looks like one of those things.
It'd be a very inefficient way to heat up an apartment.
Just fill the apartment with water.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There you go. Next hurricane season,
just
you got
swim
something.
around.
Just swim around.
Well, you can't flood our shit. We already flooded it.
I did read some forums on Reddit where they were talking about, can I put this in the bathtub because my bathwater gets cold kind of fast? They were like, I wouldn't recommend it. It is connected to the fucking wall full of electricity. So
what do they know?
Yeah, what the we need to go listen to some squares on Reddit for. But yeah, I got that. And
who would have thought on Bro Night we would get a PowerPoint cooking presentation?
Let's try that meat again. Look at that meat.
It is about meat. Yeah,
zoom into that meat. Oh man, there you go.
That shine.
Telling me your dick's not hard looking at that?
I can't tell you that.
That's true. But I can't see, so I don't know if it's true or not. But yeah.
Wow.
Also, the listeners may have noticed that my mic quality has taken a large jump. Yeah. Actually decided to stay on the New Year's train because I've been trying to make myself better for the past 3 months. And then with New Year's, it's like, all right, cool. It's the same slate everybody uses. So now I'm just like full throttle.
Still sharing your screen.
Oh. Well, here's a picture of Becca. Make fun of Becca. Pull this picture up. It's Vape Gowl Becca. That's what I've titled it.
Oh, Becca. Oh, so, man.
There
had to be a penalty.
That's the penalty. Yeah. No, I just need to screenshot Patrick doing something stupid.
Oh, wait, you got one? Oh, I would say you got one for everybody, or you're just trying to get
Not
one
yet.
for whoever's gone.
Not yet.
Yeah.
I can't wait till I get my shit working right.
Why haven't you gotten it working right?
Yeah, Dave, what's the deal, man? Why isn't it working?
It's still looking for a USB camera, man.
What?
Is
the
that
mixer?
the thing you were mad about?
Yeah.
Why would the
When
mixer
I
be
plug it
looking
in, I do Hangouts on the PC. It says, "Hey, where's your USB camera?" I don't. It's never been there before.
I thought you were using it like a divining rod or something. Like, where's the USB camera?
I'm gonna work for SETI. I think I can make it work. Get some ET, maybe I need a couple of toasters still, but and an umbrella.
I thought you already worked for SETI.
He works for Yeti, the thermos makers.
We're not supposed to talk about that though.
Thermoses are.
I'm just saying.
He only works for rhyming organizations. SETI, Yeti.
Freddie.
Every rapper would like to know your location.
You guys are putting me in a better mood. I gotta say, y'all are good folk.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
That's not good. You
That's
haven't told
no,
us
it's
why
a
you're
good
mad
thing.
yet.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, we don't know where you're mad.
Can't do that, Dave. We can't ruin the return of Dave's rants.
I never.
He's
meant
like,
to
you
lie.
know what? Like, never
Dave's
mind.
Good
He's like,
intro.
you know what? Everything's fine. I overreacted.
Yeah. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I'm so pissed.
Yeah, mad.
Are we wanting to go here now, or do we need to
I
talk
yelled
about
Dave. I yelled
some other
Dave's
fucking
rants.
things?
And I know I did that at least one time in the past. Yelled Dave's rants as an intro.
He introed you. I didn't even say why about the mic, but fuck it.
He didn't even talk about his mic.
Yeah.
Wait, what, so what? Hold on.
Yeah, there was
Dave.
a reason I spent $250 on a fucking microphone.
Yeah, what? So you could sound better on the show? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Dave?
That is.
Brad already said he would never just spend that money on our stupid ass show.
Well, I
He would
spent
never do
$250 on a microphone for the podcast. When
What
we
a
just go to the
waste.
Claremont Lounge, Nathan. You're a man of economy.
I am going to Atlanta
Economical.
next week, but I'm probably not going to go to the lounge, honestly.
They
It's
miss
just
you.
me solo. I'm sure Gabriella remembers my glasses.
Yeah. We're nipples, dude,
Her
anyway.
nipples were never the same.
They can see clearly now.
All right, what's the deal with the fucking mic, Brad? Tell us already.
I'm gonna be a voice actor
Oh,
because
shit.
people tell me all the fucking time at work, "Hey, you should be on radio," and I'm like, "Well, maybe I should." I've been waiting for a sign to figure out what the fuck I want to be when I grow up for 30 plus years. Might as well take that as a sign if people are saying it to me every week. So we're gonna do that. But it's like running it like a business, but you got to get the good gear, and I'll have a fun little change in scenery come next week's show. I'll be part of it.
I want to know, what is the first thing that you're going to record yourself reading on this new microphone?
Maybe, well, I mean, the Yeet thing was pretty nice.
Yeah.
We talking
It is being
about
recorded.
like audiobooks?
Yeah, well, audiobooks would be something I'd like to get into because
ASMR?
I don't think this is the right mic.
I was going to say, I
for
think
the ASMR ones are like the ear-shaped weird ones.
I was going to say, I think that you would be able to, like, if you took the pop filter off and got right up on it, because it's just so sensitive.
I probably
I mean,
could.
if it's
I
a
don't know.
$200 mic, it better be able to do some ASMR.
I mean, it's fucking nice, man. I don't want to do it to the listeners, but if I don't have this fucking pop filter shield on, you can fucking, those peas explode.
Yeah.
They'll blow your speakers out. I ain't doing that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't want to do ASMR. I don't know how much money's in that fucking shit. But I would like to do like audiobooks or just do commercials or something like that.
Cool. Well, just get an old book, free domain book, and start recording it. Get your.
That's not a bad idea, actually.
Chops up,
Get your chops.
I was thinking about starting a YouTube video and just reading funny ass Reddit comments. Well, I do have some funny ass Reddit comments, but we don't want to blow the whole load in one episode, We already did the Yeet.
Yeah, you never want to blow it all at once.
Yeah. You don't want to do that.
I'm giving you half of it, girl.
You're gonna have to suck the other end out. And I do that
Well-
work.
Well, Brad, I'm gonna be making movies at some point. So if you want to do full on acting,
Yeah, hit me up. Yeah, totally, 100%. I'm in.
cool.
I'll voice over like if you know more popcorn fellers, like do something where you're reenacting like a National Geographic like animal in the wild,
Oh,
and it's
yeah.
like Brian without a shirt on,
Need like a narrator.
and I'll just narrate it, like David Attenborough on the plane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, all right, sounds good.
Patrick will be dressed like a gazelle. It'll be great.
Yeah,
You can write all this stuff down.
take copious notes.
Copious. All right, that's it. Dave's turn.
Huh?
Yeah, let's get into Dave's rage.
Dave's rage.
Listen, I mean, you all know me. I'm a fairly, the glass is half full kind of guy.
Well,
Yeah.
Okay, maybe
you know, I mean, how Dave's always looking on the bright side of life.
My Uber driver's blind. How did I get into this?
You gotta listen to every show. I mean, so I took I'll try to make this story quick. I took a job with the company I work for to do some technology advancements in all the stores.
okay.
And I was out of town this week doing one of those, and I was in Chickamauga, which happened to be where my daughter lives. And I'm not distrusting, but I'm a kind of a believer in, I guess I don't lock a box at work, but I always lock my car. I just do. I'm at Walmart. I lock my car. I kind of am that guy that if there's not an opportunity, there won't be anybody to take it.
Hmm.
But so I was in Chickamauga, Georgia, which is a very small, quaint town, and I'd been down there several times before. And in my normal habits, I lock the doors. So the folks that are there would tease me about locking my car. They go, "What? Why are you locking your car?" I always
We
lock
don't
my car.
lock cars here.
Yeah, it's
How am
Chickamauga.
I gonna
What-
get orders?
Like you're insulting their town
Yeah.
for locking
Yes.
your doors.
Like it's impossible
Exactly.
for a visitor to stroll through and maybe want to have what you have.
I mean, you said it right.
Impossible.
I mean, like I was insulting their town. And it's
Like you're
well,
shitting on Mayberry.
right.
Yeah.
So I just always like it's Chickamauga. I mean, nothing. It's no crime here. It's low. It ain't no crime.
Really?
So, believe it or not, I was convinced to stop locking my car.
You fell to the peer pressure.
I-
Portal lock.
I mean,
They saw
I
you as a
said,
mark for the big
well,
city.
You want to believe. You want to
just-
believe that there's this corner of the earth that is safe and nobody wants your fucking shit.
Dave,
but
I
it's not in
just
Chickamauga, Georgia.
it's just like these people just walking by your car and just like checking. They're like, what's
I see
How does
3/4
this-
in an iPhone charger. Jackpot.
how does this pressure come on to where you're like,
I mean,
No, I
there
guess
was
I gotta-
actually
yeah, that lock-
an
lock the door.
occupant of the complex walking by as I locked my car. I mean, many
Like
months ago,
someone you don't
probably-
even know.
Yeah, maybe
And they
a
were
year
shitting
ago.
on you for locking your car.
They like
and they
stopped.
said-
like, what the fuck
and-
was
and
that
they said-
What
sound?
was that noise?
You're not from around here, are you?
Why'd your car honk at me like that?
You know, you can get a ticket for doing something like that.
I'm calling the mayor right now.
So
Hold on,
this
hold on,
issue
there's
has
this-
come up. So
yeah, go ahead. Go.
I mean, I gave in. I stopped locking my car when I go to this place, and for months on end, there was joy. Nothing is leaving. You can unlock your car. Really? This is a thing? Not this weekend.
Oh,
Not this weekend. I parked my car. I got there late Tuesday or Monday night, and I got all my stuff. I got all my bags. I'm gonna be there for 2-3 days, and I get into the house and I said, well, shit, I forgot. I need a pack of cigarettes. So I went back out to the car and I said, oh shit, I want to stream some games on Xbox. So I grabbed my controller out of the glove box and I grabbed a pack of cigarettes. I had bought cigarettes before I left town because I can't get my cigarettes in that town. It's Chickamauga. It's
somebody stole them all.
The Mayberry of cigarettes.
Yeah, precisely, Brad. It's the
I didn't even
Mayberry
think that made
cigarettes.
sense when I said it, but okay.
So I go out. I grab this pack of cigarettes. I grab my controller. I go back into the house. I go to bed fairly early because I got to get an early start. I get out. I have to go out to my car because I got to start loading all my equipment that I need to go do for what I got to go do. And I bring the equipment out and I set it in the back seat and I notice some things are different in my car. I usually have this.
Dave,
What?
is this at an apartment complex or is this like in a neighborhood?
It is at a homeowners association condo upscale. It's where my daughter lives.
Okay. Are you parked on the street or in a driveway?
No, it's a private parking lot.
Okay.
It's a private complex. I mean, it's very it makes me proud that she lives there. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I'm proud my daughter pays too much for rent.
No, she doesn't pay too much for rent, but
it's just a joke. It's Dave. It's just a joke, Dave.
No, she just got lucky. So
yeah.
I mean, I just go. So I go out this morning and I put the stuff in the car, and I have this Reeboks box that I put all of my maintenance receipts in, and my dash cam is in there, and some other stuff, and it's not where it usually is. And then I noticed that the console is open, and the glove box, it's open too. So what the fuck is going on here? I didn't do any of this shit last night. And so I get it to the front, and sure enough, somebody has went through my car. They've opened everything up. They've taken everything out, and at the end of the day, they did not take the iPod that was in my car that my father had given me, but they took my Samsung Galaxy phone that I listened to books on, podcast on, everything on, and it's logged into every one of my Google accounts. It's basically a mirror of my phone. And 3 packs of cigarettes.
Oh, not the cigarettes.
They didn't leave you like one cigarette.
They take all the fucking cigarettes, bro.
I hope you marched into that store and punched everybody in the face that said, "Oh, why you lock your door?" Because my shit got stolen in Chickamauga,
Georgia.
Cowabunga, Georgia.
I'm so pissed. It's taken a little bite, made me more cynical.
Were you able to get in and change all your passwords and shit?
Yeah, I mean that was the majority of my time. Once that happened,
they didn't fuck with your any of your accounts. Or
no, the only thing that I could tell, and I could tell that they had done something, was my Google Play account. And I meant to write this down, and I didn't.
They subscribed to a bunch of really shitty podcasts, didn't they?
No, they just listened to
Celine Dion.
I don't know what it was. It started with a V was the name of the song, or maybe what it was. And I went, I've never listened to that, because I went to my Google Play account and it would always pop up what you played last.
What up now?
And I didn't
Shine
even
bright like a
recognize the
diamond.
band or the artist.
Shine bright
Listen,
like a diamond.
Describe the
Listen,
type of music it was.
yeah, listen, shitty thief. If you were listening to this podcast right now because you found it on Dave's phone, fuck you.
But support us
Go
on
fuck
Patreon. Patreon.com/verbal assault.
Take all
God
that
will
money you
forgive you.
got from Dave's cigarette sales and just put it towards the podcast. Pay it forward. Dave will get a very small cut of his cigarette money back.
I mean, it's penance, bro.
Isn't there a way to? I mean, it doesn't help you get your phone back, but isn't there a way to call something and have them brick it?
Oh yeah, that's the coolest part. I don't know if it actually happens, but if they sign the minute that I realized that it was gone, because of your Google access, you can go to any device that you have that has access. So my iPad, this phone, that phone, this iPad, I have them all on my Google account, and you can lock them out. You can find them. You can do, erase them. So,
but erasing
I locked
them
out.
isn't really what you want. You want to brick the phone. You want to make it where it can't be wiped and reused under someone else's account, right?
Well, right, but it's it's under the. See, that's the beauty of this thing. The whole reason that phone was what it was because one of the tiny little contacts for the SIM card just came out. It broke. Can't be used as a phone.
Oh, okay.
Could you still get the GPS and call the police and say it's at this address right now?
I had the GPS turned off, but if they log in on Wi-Fi, once they log into Wi-Fi account, it will lock the phone and then will erase all of my data on there.
Right.
But it won't tell you the Wi-Fi area that it's connected to? Or it won't tell you?
Yes. I can locate the phone based on the Wi-Fi IP address.
Look it up. Call the cops.
I've been doing that.
Fuck the cops. Let's track them down and beat their asses.
Let's do it right now.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can locate them right now.
Yeah, find them right now. We'll
So
call
you
them
can
out.
go to
Actually, can we
find-
do that?
You can go to find your device.
Yeah.
Next
Now
to the
it's
door
gonna. Oh fuck! I gotta enter this goddamn password in.
Listeners, close your ears. Dave's going to be speaking it out loud.
He's going to say it out loud. He has to.
It's the only way you can
Fighting everything.
Nah, I don't want to do that right now.
Well, I thought we were going to fucking vigilante justice this guy.
We got to, man. It's the only right thing to do.
Do you guys have leather jackets?
West Side Story.
You got
So I'm really pissed. That's where I'm going at with all this. I was so mad. They took my phone. They took 3 packs of cigarettes. I'm grateful they didn't take my dash cam or my iPod that means a lot to me. But
some dumb kid
clowns.
that didn't know what it was. They're like, "What the fuck is that thing up there? I don't
Yeah.
know. What's this ancient thing?"
Yeah, the
Right?
iPod, yeah,
I don't even know how to turn this on.
I mean, I like to think that it's the recessed bottom, and then it had a bunch of paperwork that was on top of it, so it looked like the bottom of the console. But if they had seen it, and it's quite likely, Brad, that you're right. They didn't know what the fuck to do. They was like, what is this?
Kid.
What I'm looking forward to, and I wish it could be filmed. I'd like to see it, but when the next time you're there and you're in the parking lot and you're getting out of your car and one of our neighbors is walking out to their car and you lock it, and then they say some comment like, "Oh, you're not from around here," and then just
give them the finger.
Dave's blood boil. Just
well, this is what. Yeah. Well, this is what I was gonna say. I mean, Dave, you must be holding onto some future satisfaction of waiting for somebody to say this shit to you, so you can then say, "Oh no, my shit got robbed in your stupid little town,
lame ass town."
Well,
and nobody can pronounce.
And you know that's true. I didn't file a report, but my daughter, she was so pissed she called the property company, and then she called. Apparently, she knows her neighbors.
Do they have video surveillance? Surely not.
I didn't raise her that way.
Yeah.
Good fences make great neighbors. So I'm not into talking to neighbors, but apparently she called her fucking neighbors.
You nailed what the GIF was playing on the stream.
and yes, that's right. And one of the neighbors had left their car open, and they hit them. So they stole some cash out of their car. I think some $36, and then the owner of the property called the police, and they came out there, and I didn't file a report because there's
the police came out and explained to you how there's really nothing they can do. And
pretty much.
They really don't even care.
Let your car unlocked.
Yeah, we
Tell
don't
them,
really
look, your
deal with
lame
this.
town lost me my cigarettes, my old ass Galaxy. I want compensation. Give me my cigarettes.
My old ass Galaxy, right? It had all my books on it.
My books.
My books.
And books. It had all my podcasts.
My podcast.
So
It's a
I'm
shame.
enraged. I'm pissed. That's my bit about that.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm gonna recover from this, gentlemen.
More of the story, guys. Lock your cars in Chupacabra, Georgia.
And don't let anybody talk you into this is the greatest place. You don't have to lock your car here.
It's because they've never gone anywhere else their entire life. They don't know that.
So
I'll tell you, this place is way cooler than Chickamauga, Georgia.
I lock my car everywhere else.
You're never gonna get robbed in Cocoa Beach. Very safe.
Yeah. Right.
No, you'll get hit by a drunk driver at Cocoa Beach. That's what'll happen here. Don't go to Cape though.
Stay away from the Cape.
Stay out of Cape.
Guys, I have been holding on to this story for a while now, and I feel like tonight is the night.
All right.
Tonight is the night. Yes. This is what it'll say the date here. For well over a year, two mysteries consumed a peaceful New Jersey community. There were the strange letters that showed up in the mailboxes of local barns, asking about the possibility of forming a sexual relationship with horses, cows, or other large animals.
What?
Wait,
Spicy.
what?
And then,
Rewind.
did nobody actually hear that, or are we just confused?
A little of
Terrifying.
both.
Playing along.
A little
And
above.
then,
A little of both.
and then, there were the homemade tire slashing devices that farmers kept finding in their driveways or near the entrances to rural farm roads. Now authorities in Sussex County, New Jersey, are saying that both were the work of the same man, Richard Decker, who lashed out by harassing people who refused to let him have sex with their farm animals. The
Now
31-year-old was arrested October 3rd, according to the New Jersey Herald. Prosecutors said at a Wednesday detention hearing that since August 2018, he had been sending letters and emails detailing his request to farms, stables, and horse boarding facilities throughout Sussex County, located in the northernmost point of the state. Unsurprisingly, many of the recipients were not thrilled to learn that an adult man was interested in having a sexual relationship with their livestock. Decker didn't take the rejection well. He left messages harassing the property owners who had turned him down, in one instance threatening to beat a man's wife with a wooden stick,
Oh my god.
and wrote negative online reviews of their businesses.
They won't even let me fuck that horse.
That's what's really going to hurt him, yeah.
It's been looking me in the eye every time I drive by. Like,
I hope they lock
lock
all their car doors.
That mare loves me.
The 31-year-old also allegedly kept a stash of homemade metal tire deflation spikes in his bedroom. Those are called caltrops.
Wow. Caltrops?
Caltrops person writing this. Yeah,
Yeah.
caltrops.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
that-
ninjas. You
cool.
drop them behind you as you're running away, you know. Somebody will step
Caltrops.
on them.
What, TROP?
Caltrop.
Caltrops.
Yeah, caltrops.
Oh, caltrops.
Caltrops.
Oh.
Tell me you've never
Name
tried
of
to
the
figure out how to put them in your
Title
car.
of this
What's
episode.
ASMR
Caltrop.
anyway?
Oh.
Caltrops.
Caltrops.
Caltrop
Oh.
ASMR. Oh.
All right, folks. You can see these caltrops on here.
He would plant them in driveways of farmers who angered him. In January, police in Decker's
caltrops.
hometown. Yeah, caltrops.
Remember,
In
there's
January-
a delay, Dave.
Oh, my bad.
In January, the police issued a warning to anyone who has a farm-like property. After several residents found their tires had been destroyed by homemade spikes, which are also known as there it is, right there, caltrops.
Yeah, there they are.
Remember, there's a delay.
Eventually. Yeah, there's a delay. The department's Facebook post was deluged with comments from people in the surrounding area, and one man claimed that his family had gotten 6 flat tires in the past month alone. Damn. While some joked about a nefarious scheme to sell tires,
I'd be
speculated
so pissed.
that's a good. Others speculated that animal rights activists were behind the vandalism.
Oh.
As authorities investigated over the summer, a different kind of conversation began bubbling up in Facebook groups where people typically discuss upcoming equestrian events or buying and selling livestock. In August, Caitlin McCurdy, who occasionally leases out horses to fund her work with rescue animals in Jackson, New Jersey, received several disturbing emails in response to ads that she had placed on Craigslist. All 3 appeared to come from the same sender, who went by the alias Tacky Chaps.
Tacky Chaps.
This is a message, so I'm going to be Tacky Chaps right now.
Okay.
I know you're trying to sell your mare, but the reason I am contacting you today is because I am attracted to equine and wanted to ask, would you please give me the permission to meet and possibly have a sexual relationship with one of your horses? I'm sorry if my request appears insulting. I am honestly attracted to horses, and I'm looking for a longer-term relationship with one. But I have no place to home one myself. I am a man in North Jersey, and I would be grateful if you would consider me for your horses. Thank you.
He's polite.
Yeah, I mean,
he's very
someone's-
polite.
Nathan, that was really good. I'm
Someone's got to
impressed.
stud those
Thank you.
mares, you
That
know.
was really good.
Brad, should I buy a $250 mic and be a voice actor?
Well, you got to get a preamp, and that's $100
Okay, 300.
at least, or have a buddy that has one already.
Dave, did you mute your laughter?
I had to, man. It was
Dave,
too
I need your
much.
laughter. I gotta have it. You can't.
It was too much,
you
man.
can't just
I
mute
would
it.
have. It was.
I thrive
it was,
on it.
I was crying.
Can't steal your laughter from Nathan like some fool stole your
Yeah.
cigarettes.
Or
Yes.
like
old ass galaxy
like
from
some
your
old
car.
farmer steals a mare from a loving potential
Yeah.
mate.
I withheld my laughter from Nathan.
How could you?
Okay, well, try this one, Dave.
Calling the police but not filing a report.
All right, I'll leave my mic on.
Oh. The other 2 emails were nearly identical, though one asked to
stud for your horses.
There it is.
he wanted to stud for the horses,
Mhm. Someone's got to.
which indicated to McCurdy that the sender was familiar with equine terminology.
I mean,
Really?
Yeah, okay.
It's pretty obvious.
She's a detective. She told Washington Post they were sickening. Yeah, we got that. Didn't report the messages to police, figuring they wouldn't be able to trace the sender from Craigslist. She posted screenshots of Facebook and warned others, the animal rescue community, to be on the lookout. Around the same time, McCurdy told the Post she discovered that the oil filter had been unscrewed from her car's motor, and all the oil had leaked out,
Wow.
which caused her.
What a dick move.
Holy shit! That's a replaced engine, right there.
Yeah.
If they start it and don't notice that
Yeah.
low pressure oil light right away, yeah.
Oh man! As McCurdy's warnings made the round, she learned that she wasn't alone. At least 5 people in a Facebook group in the New Jersey equestrian community received similar messages. Although they came from a variety of different aliases, they all made the same request. In one, the sender, who self-identified as an animal lover who is open to experimental dating.
Oh yeah.
That's so disgusting.
A Facebook dating user, got it.
I'm into experimental dating. I'm an experimentalist.
offered to pay for the animal's care in exchange for an expectation of privacy for the relationship.
Oh
We're
my
gonna need to
God.
use your barn.
You can't watch.
Yeah.
Unless you bring me a pack of cigarettes from a certain car.
I want to.
We got a deal or
It was
not?
3 packs.
It's hard to find those cigarettes around here.
There's only 3 of them, and they gotta be the same ones.
This should be made into a movie. I'm gonna make this movie. This is on my. I'm gonna write this script. Another, which had been printed out and left in a farm's mailbox, expressed an interest in forming an intimate relationship with large farm animals such as horses, ponies, cows, or similar, and asked the owners to, quote, introduce me to the partner of my dreams.
Gross.
The self-described animal lover reviewed over 50 barns with 1-star reviews because they did not answer his email.
What the reviews say? I want to know.
Yeah, I don't know if they have any of those on here. This is a very extensive article. The investigators also wrote that they found 2 arrows with explosives attached.
What?
What? Like Rambo
Explosive
style
arrows?
explosive arrows. A 22 caliber gun that he had made himself.
What?
What?
It's gotta
Jars?
be easier to buy.
Yeah, but they're traceable.
Man, this guy
Jar-
wants
yeah.
some animal tang bad.
Jars of flash powder and other potentially explosive materials, which said he came from fireworks and he had dismantled. He later admitted to contacting the farms and asking to have sex with their animals.
But if he didn't commit the act, I mean, I guess he's committed vandalism at least because he
he's busted a bunch of tires.
And the fucking engine with the oil filter. Okay, yeah. So
Yeah,
they
you're
have
getting
something
into
to charge.
harassment.
Yeah, they have something to charge him with.
Damn it.
Well, here it
I
is.
mean, maybe there's no solicitation for livestock.
Yeah.
The list of charges that Decker faces includes second-degree possession of explosives, second-degree possession of a destructive device to use unlawfully, fourth-degree procuring an animal in any kind of sexual manner or initiate
4th degree,
any sexual conduct with an animal, 4th degree threatening to commit aggravated assault, 4th degree knowingly manufacturing firearms, and multiple cyber harassment charges.
Knowingly creating.
Now that's one thing. This whole intent thing, just because he busted up some firecrackers and pulled all of that powder together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. At some point you're mind reading, it's like, but obviously the guy's nuts. But
Cuckoo.
maybe that's why it's 4th degree.
Yeah, that's the end of that
I
article.
didn't even know they go to 4th.
When the investigation is still ongoing. Yeah.
Man, well, definitely keep us updated on that.
Yeah, I'll have to do
the continued.
another check.
So,
Yeah.
Nathan, I sent Steve-O an email earlier this week about maybe doing a throwback segment. I could not think of a better time to just throw it in. But there you go.
Okay.
Wait, no,
Maybe
yeah,
I've
already.
You've already got it.
Yeah,
Well,
if it's the one you sent me earlier.
if it said throwback, yeah, pull it up. This might just perk up Nathan's day, and
What
maybe
about
not
Dave?
so much Dave.
Oh yeah. This was everybody's favorite.
Yeah.
Hey, with the sound.
Oh, with the sound?
The same as real horses do.
Oh my God.
These events are very competitive. Just like a regular horse show
No.
event, we end up with some crashes
No,
and wrecks.
you're not supposed to show me this shit.
People go down over the jumps. The competition gets pretty crazy
No.
sometimes.
Mm-mm. Listeners,
When ponies
this
put
is
on
why
the
you're
gear,
a listener.
It puts them
You don't want to see
into
this
what
shit.
they call pony space.
Oh my
and
God.
I see a lot of people that once they put the gear on, that actually turn into horses.
They
When I put
literally
the
turn
bit
into
in his
horses.
mouth, it's like a ritual between us. He needs that transition to get into headspace, and I can feel through the bit when he actually kind of changes from like human space to like pony space. So now I'm gonna leave him here for a minute for pony space before we take him out in for the reining competition. Because I found
She should be
for us,
arrested for fourth
during
degree
play, if I
sexual
just
assault
put
of
him
an
in the
animal.
gear,
Yeah.
and then
Then-
we go immediately
Yeah,
do
imagine
it,
what they do
it
whenever
doesn't
they're
give
done
him
with the
time to
competition.
transition
Yeah.
into his headspace.
Oh,
that
you know
allows him
exactly what
to-
they do.
Because he actually transitions into a pony, and then she has sex with him.
Come
Yeah.
stud.
I like his hoof
When I'm doing pony
hands.
play, I'm pretty free and wild. I kick the cart,
He looks like he's like an accountant by day.
fight with the hammer, you know, and really just try to give them a really hard time. So they really have to try.
Or when
to
he's
keep
not
us
stocking shelves at the
bay,
Dollar
but
Tree.
It usually doesn't work.
Oh my
That
God,
horse is
dude.
talking. That is an actual
What
horse
the
that's
fuck? That
talking.
horse is talking.
I really just fall into that space, and I'm a pony when I do that. So I'm free.
That
I run around.
horse's
I
camel
gallop,
toe is
I
like
jump,
popping out of the
I
side of his cod
I
piece.
want it, and I nozzle, and I get
That's what God wants.
Oh God.
Yeah.
That will always be my favorite part.
All of our outfits that we make are based off of bio-horse equipment or made out of bio-horse equipment.
He looks like the dude that got a stapler stolen in an office space.
We get very costly.
Yeah.
People are very proud of their outfits they put together.
Dude,
That's the guy that's been
this
writing those emails and
It's
stuff.
called. Is
Yeah.
a very essential part for most ponies. But it's also
No,
very
he doesn't want to
important
be a pony. He wants to
adopting that
fuck
role
a pony.
and
Well, yeah,
being
but, you
able
know,
to
one step
change
at a time.
From the human aspect to the pony aspect. In,
This guy,
a
man.
Space kind of way, like really get into character.
Right.
You guys are just kink shaming right now. You bunch of kink shamers.
We have to be very
Oh,
nice,
okay.
People.
upright,
Hateful.
tax-paying citizens Monday through Friday. So to get to go out and pretend to be something else for the weekend is like so much fun.
And it's about expressing your inner personality too, because so many of other people, I'm sure I can speak for, live
No.
a life Monday through Friday that's not really an expression of who they are, what they
Yeah,
do.
it's what pays
And-
their bills.
And when you get a chance to come out here and you get to enjoy what you do and be around other people who enjoy similar things and enjoy
Yeah.
it with them, it's a great feeling.
The freedom to be
I just-
weird.
No.
I want to drive up with a truck pulling a huge horse trailer with a big sign on the side that says Glue Factory.
On the other side says fuck house.
I just want to drive up with a trunk full of Legos and go, here, this is fun too.
A t-shirt that says looking to beat a dead horse. No, they might like that. That's probably a bad idea, actually, now that I think about it.
Are you implying you want to kill one of us?
I'm sure there's a niche. A necrophiliac bestiality nonsense. I'm sure there's a niche.
Oh yeah,
I really like to fuck dead horses.
I just saw a story today where some guy had I think it was a grinder date, and he killed him and cut his balls off and ate him.
What?
Yeah, it was a news
my.
story. I wish I didn't save it. Didn't save that one, but yeah, of course it happens. You know.
Yeah, it's a risk you
Yes.
take when you're trying to find love.
You win some, you lose some.
Yeah.
I don't know if love is necessarily what they're looking for on Grindr.
Wow.
I guess a sort of love.
It's you gotta make love to have love.
A messy
It's love-ish.
A love that can only be left behind like DNA evidence in Dave's car.
Hey, there you go. DNA. Maybe.
Yeah, pull out the black light. See if they use them cigarettes right afterwards or not.
And they were in a brown paper bag. They took them out of the brown paper bag and threw them on the ground. I mean,
That's
that
where
tells
all
me
the good
you don't even
stuff
have
is.
any common sense for ease of carrying.
They didn't want the bag?
No, there was 3 packs of cigarettes in a brown paper bag. You took them out of the brown paper bag, threw the brown paper bag on the seat in the passenger
They could
side.
have used the bag
There you
to
go.
carry all the other shit.
I
There you go,
know.
Dave. Dave, that's a clue. You can tell the police. Note, has pockets.
Sir, you've been very helpful in filling out this report.
I
Thank
never
you.
saw the guy, but I know he had to have a lot of pockets.
Pull over everybody with pockets.
Pockets.
See a guy with a hoodie that you could fit 3 packs of cigarettes in and a cell phone, you pull him over right then.
Oh, he
there.
definitely had a hoodie. All
Not
criminals
to
have
mention,
hoodies.
they were
Yeah.
not Salem's. They were Edgefields. You can't get them in that town.
Edgefield.
There you go.
Get them.
I've
Yeah.
never even
Cheapest
heard of
cigarettes
Edgefield.
around.
Never
Half
heard
the
of it.
cost. You can't get them.
Dave, how are you not just walking around? I mean, it's a small town, so you just be at whatever two gas stations and be like, just stand outside. Everybody comes in, it's like, hey, you got a smoke? Like, no, yeah, just see if they got
Oh.
Edgefields, you know.
Yeah.
I
Just
knew
waiting.
if that
ATF will bust
happened,
him.
Yeah.
it
all
would
the trucks.
escalate. It would be some Iran shit, and I'd end up in jail. I didn't bring bail money. I'm just saying.
Just spend the next 3 days outside of 7-Eleven or whatever you got. Easy
Pulling
stuff.
Eddie Murphy
Enjo.
on like a dough dolly or something. No legs. Hey man, you got to smoke?
I mean, who won't give a smoke to a legless man?
I like Edgefield.
Yeah, they go to give you a Marlboro, and you're like, give me that Edgefield. Fuck this shit.
We're gonna talk about how, there's this thing I notice where, cigarette smokers, there's always this like brotherly thing or sisterly thing of anybody asks for a cigarette that you always give a cigarette. That always seems to be a thing, right?
Yeah.
And this is my observation as only having dated and lived with smokers,
Mm-hmm.
or most of my friends are smokers, and I've noticed this. And I remember one day pointing this out to Becca, how she gives out cigarettes to everybody. Everybody comes up, asks her, like, you just give her your cigarettes away. And she's like, yeah, whatever. It's just a thing you do. I was like, okay. And then there's only been one time she turned a guy down. I think I told this. I'll tell it again.
Okay.
We were at Market Square, which is kind of downtown central Knoxville. There is a fair number of homeless around that area. There's the Salvation Army is pretty close to there. And we were crossing the street, leaving Market Square, and there was this guy that looked like the Vietnam veteran from a movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like,
I can picture it.
yeah. It's
yeah.
like
The guy from
fatigues,
Forrest
like,
Gump. The guy from
Yeah.
Forrest Gump. It's like,
Lieutenant
that's so
Dan.
right on, man.
he's sitting with his legs out into the street, just sitting there. And he's like, as we're walking by, he's like, hey, you spare a cigarette for a veteran? And Becca was just did the head shake and kept walking, because I always say, why are you giving out cigarettes and don't talk to homeless people?
Yeah.
This was the one time she did. So the guy is just sitting there in the street, and we just walk by, head looking straight forward, and he throws up his hands and he's like, what's happened, America? He's like,
bum cigarettes.
he's like,
Was she
looks
smoking
up.
a cigarette?
Yeah. He looks up, he's like, come on, America.
It's supposed to be the land of the free cigarettes.
Come on, America.
Did Becca say why she didn't?
I think it was more of the let's just avoid it, because he was pretty run down and crazy looking. I think that,
Get up like I'm going home with you now because you gave me that cigarette.
he's already
I'm like feeding the
sitting.
dog.
He's already
Feeding the
sitting
dog.
down. We can get by him quickly, so it turned into let's just get out of here as quick as possible. But
That's funny.
it was It was very funny.
He's already said
Trained her well.
We could beat him.
Steve-O.
Let's talk about space.
Space.
How did I
Let's
know
talk
you were gonna
about
say
space,
that?
baby.
Yeah, always
Let's
is.
talk about
Space.
The only thing I know about. In fact, on the bus out to, we take a bus out to the launch pad to set up our cameras, and one of the guys, Ken Kramer, he sat down right behind me on the bus, and I was like, "Hey, Ken, how's it going?" And he's like, "Well, it's gonna be going pretty bad for Trump, or pretty good for Trump, or if so and so goes and takes a stand, there's somebody that's supposed to come and like speak or testify or something." And he said the guy's name, or Bolton. Oh yeah, he's like
Bolton.
Bolton.
John Bolton.
He's like, yeah, if Bolton speaks, and I was like, Bolton. He's like, yeah, Bolton. I said, I know Michael Bolton. He's like, no. And I'm like, man, I'm sorry, dude. I just don't follow. He looked at me like I was just a piece of shit, youngster, not following politics closely enough.
Next time, just say, "Oh yeah," with the walrus mustache.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
All right.
just say
He'll
that.
yeet
Okay.
at him and then dab on him, and then he'll never talk to you again.
All right.
Yeet on his mustache.
Yeet on him and dab on
Dab
him.
on the haters.
He'll never come back.
Well, so Monday is the typical day off for the Florida crew, and this Monday was no exception. So, I told Brad and Becca the plan. I had to go set up my cameras at the launch pad, and then I'd be back here about 5:30. And of course, they want to know when the launch is, and I say it's 9:19. But if we're going together, I need y'all to be ready to go because I need to set up. Because I needed to be there like as long before. I need to be there at dark as long before the launch as possible for the shot that I was going for. And we did, and we checked the weather, and it was supposed to be down in Cocoa Beach. The low was like 56 or something. So Brad confidently walks out of the apartment with his gym shorts and tank top. A t-shirt. Maybe it was a t-shirt, and I had like this like wool. It's like this wool thing. Like it looks almost like trench coaty, right? And it's really warm, And I was like, oh, this thing's gonna come in real handy.
It's a pea coat.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, I think it's a pea coat. And yeah, we get out there, and it's like in the 40s. Brad got cold.
No.
Yes.
Did he admit it? Did he admit that he was cold?
Okay, so
I asked for a hand
he asked
warmer,
me
and
for-
Steve-O just went off to the races.
because I had my bag because I knew that I might need some hand warmers for the lens for what I was doing, and I was like, you need some hand warmers, and so we got hand warmers for everybody. Which it was so cold, the hand warmers didn't get all that warm, Anyway, we watched the launch. It was a beautiful launch. I'll show the viewers my picture.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Yeah, I'm pretty proud of it. I wasn't sure the whole time because all these lights, man. These lights are not always good when you're taking a shot like this, but it turned out great. I'm really happy about it.
Wow.
But what this launch is the third batch of Starlink satellites, but the second operational. It's up for debate, like how many of the original batch, because they called those the version 0.9, and these are now we're on to 1.0. Some of those first batch will probably be used in the final constellation, but with this launch, it makes SpaceX the largest satellite operator in the world.
Wow.
Previously, it was a company called Planet Labs, which I think they're actually just called Planet now. But what they have a bunch of satellites up there. They're just imaging satellites, and people use them for all kinds of reasons. A lot of farmers use their images for crop planning, or I'm sure governments are using stuff, or maybe highway departments or whatever.
Keep an eye on their livestock's asses.
Yeah,
Keep them safe.
Yeah, it's one of these things. It's like, how when you go on Google Maps, if you look at the satellite view, you can if you know an area well, you can zoom in on it and be like, oh, this is kind of an old image. This was taken maybe a year or two ago. Well, what Planet does is they have a lot more up to date images, and you can go through their archive and you can find frequent images. Anyway, so this is the second operational batch of Starlink satellites, and someone on Twitter asked Elon, how soon can we expect there to be service in the U.S. and Canada? And he said maybe 4 more launches.
Really?
So what is that? What does that come out to? A year?
No, that could be done in a couple of months. I mean, they're supposedly going to do at least 1 more Starlink launch this month. They originally were going to do like 3 of them in January. It's starting to look like it maybe get 1 more off the ground, and maybe another one or 2 in February. But they well, it kind of leads into the other thing, Space Force. This was the first official launch of the Space Force, because the Air Force, the Air Force has always provided support, like especially like securing the area, making sure no one's acting a fool, and most of these launches take place on Air Force property, which is now Space Force. It's Cape Canaveral Space Force Station now, and I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah, so this is the first launch of the Space Force.
Space Force.
Space Force.
Space Force. Bigly. It's bigly.
And this actually, Cape Canaveral is being, or maybe not Cape Canaveral specifically, but Patrick Air Force Base is being considered for like the headquarters for the Space Force. It probably won't, from what I've read, is that like most people aren't thinking that it's going to be chosen, but it might.
It's HQ, Space Force HQ.
Oh yeah, and somebody else asked him about the receiver for Starlink, and apparently it's coming together. And all he did was describe it. He didn't show a picture, but he said it looks like a little round UFO, and all you have to do, he's like, the instructions are simple: plug it in, point it at the sky. It does not have to be done in that order. You can point it at the sky first if you want.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hey,
that's good to know.
If it's not crazy expensive, I will be an early adopter, because I was telling Steve-O before we started, my internet here sucks.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
It's perfect now, by the way. You look
good.
great.
Well, that's good. I don't know why sometimes it's good and it isn't good, but yeah, I will definitely try it. I'll jump onto that.
Now they have warned that when they first rolled it out, it is going to be spotty, because you've got to be in a line of sight with multiple of these satellites, and until they get a bunch of them up there, right now they've launched 180, but I'm pretty sure that a few of them have deorbited. So, you're talking, they've got maybe 170, 175 up there. But they need a lot up there to be able to actually have a satellite over you at all times.
Yeah.
And they'll probably have to be, setting up relay stations, and I was watching like one of those videos that someone just makes that kind of knows about these things. That they're not necessarily tapped into what SpaceX is doing. But they've suggested that they could actually use the consumer receivers as part of their relay system, so that if you're not using yours, they could use it to bounce signals off of satellites. Because as it turns out, the satellites aren't going to be linked to each other. They're going to be bouncing signals off the ground at relay stations, and in remote areas, they might use the consumer receivers as part of that relay system. And that would help them probably have better coverage faster. But still no mention of how much it is. So, sorry I can't offer any.
Well, I thought I remember you saying way back that it was going to be, the price would be comparable.
Comparable, yeah.
Getting cable.
Right, yeah. Gwen Shotwell said it was like, they asked her how much it was going to be, and it was kind of like one of those, cable internet's what, $70, $80? About that, it was very vague, but hell, if
then you start to you start to wonder, like, could you have this installed in your car or whatever? I mean,
I wonder
your
if it has to
phone-
be stationary. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does it? It's because the satellites I know have phased array antennas, which is they're antennas that don't physically have to be pointed. That's like they do something electronically, and they're able to point their signal without any physical moving parts.
Right.
So I'm wondering if the receivers could actually be on the roof of a car. I kind of doubt it. I feel like the receivers are going to need to be stationary to have a good signal. But maybe it's like you sacrifice a little bit of bandwidth or latency or something if you want to have it on like an RV or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can you imagine that though? That RVs would be popping up with them. I mean, aftermarket kits even.
We can go to the desert and do a bunch of peyote in an RV and still have our email.
Hell yeah.
I just you kind of think like, you think about these satellites, you know, this coverage up in the sky. If you're driving around town, I can't see it making much of a difference whether you're a mile over here or a mile over there. You know what I mean?
I don't think it would matter if like where you are if you're stationary, but I think the question is, can you be moving and still use it? Like, it might be that like it needs to know where you are, and it need so that the satellites can point at you, and
Yeah, but I feel like that satellite, it's not like it's pointing to individual receiver. It's got to have a wide. It's got to have a very wide area that it is
sending and receiving to.
Yeah,
but when it's sending a signal to you, I think it may need to be. Well, I don't know. That does sound a little impossible, right?
It's just light.
I mean, it's all speculation, nonetheless. But I find that, I mean, for the same reason that we can't see the curvature of the Earth, you get enough of these satellites up there rotating around. We're so small that they'll just be rotating, and you just won't lose signal.
Yeah,
they're rotating so fast. You're not moving that fast. You're so small. It's almost like you're a fixed point.
There's actually a really good video that Scott Manley did. And actually, if you're on an Xbox, you hold your controller in your hand because you can look around with the joystick. And I'm assuming I've only done it on the TV with the Xbox, but I'm assuming on your phone you can also hold it up and pan around. But he's using some program that shows satellites in the sky at all times, and it starts out, he's just kind of pointing out satellite here or there, in these different constellations, and then he shows what it'll be like when Starlink is deployed, and it's just satellites just crisscrossing the sky constantly. You don't see them most of the time, you see them at dawn and dusk, like you typically do, but yeah, there will be dozens of satellites in your field of view at all times whenever the whole thing's deployed. They want to have like 12,000. Well, I think when it's all said and done, they want to have like 40,000 satellites up there. But I think to have good global coverage, they need like 12,000. Like up to that point, I think the coverage is going to be spotty.
How many do they pop off with every launch?
60.
All right, so it'll take them a little while.
It's going to take them a while. They've
2-3 years, you said.
Oh, I remember what I was going at with the Space Force thing. In the last couple years, maybe the last year, the Brigadier General or something of the Air Force said that they have this thing. They're on the drive to 48. They want to be able to support 48 launches every year, which is 4 launches per month, and SpaceX is going to be the company that gets them there because they want to do like a ridiculous amount of launches. They want to do like 24 launches of just Starlink this year.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So 24 times 60, anybody real fast? Like
24 times, yeah, so 2 times
24 times 60.
1,200, and then
series faster. 1,440.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I was going to say.
So that's 1,440. That's not 12,000.
No.
I don't know. Maybe
That more of
what
Elon.
Maybe what they said was it's 24 launches to get like full
Started.
coverage, and then it'll only get better from there.
Like that's just them getting started, and then
Yeah.
some of Elon's overselling.
Yeah, him saying that only 4 more launches could give him some coverage. Hell, I don't even think they're going to have the receiver ready to sell to consumers by then. And hopefully it's not I mean, I'm assuming they're going to have it set up like a cable company where you know your receiver is part of your bill, like a lease
Right.
or whatever. There you go.
Okay.
Keep watching this.
Sounds good.
Don't listen to the haters. There's a lot of haters out there, and you know, astronomers. I'm on the side of I love astronomers. I love astronomy, all the space shit. I'm into it. But for them to argue that like this needs to be stopped because they can't take their pictures, you adapt. You know, this is a future that it will happen. We're going to do this, you know, like if it's not SpaceX, it's going to be OneWeb, or, you know, Amazon is talking about doing it. Facebook has talked about doing it. You know, there's
AOL.
MySpace
you think of the amount of
do it.
Sky anyway. I mean, it's like,
Net zero.
They're going to do it. So to be pissed off at one company, I mean, I guess, you know, they're the first, so, you know, you focus your energy on the one that's actually doing it now, and I would hope that they would be honest, and if it was, you know, OneWeb or Amazon that was doing it right now, they'd be pissed at them too. But it's going to happen, and just like with every technological advancement that hindered the ability of scientists to do their thing, they're going to have to adapt. And we need to just have space telescopes instead.
yeah,
Put all that shit up in space, up above the satellites, and then there's no problem.
Well, so I mean, not only astronomers, but Elon has kind of garnered a following of haters. There are people that just hate everything he does. So it's you know, you got that too.
And it is worth noting that on one of these 60 satellites that they just launched, they have some sort of experimental coating on them to try to see if it cuts down on the reflectivity. Problem with cutting down on reflectivity is that it's hard on the satellites because they need to be able to reflect the sun's heat, because when you're in space, there's no atmosphere around you to help pull heat out of you. You know, there's no wind blowing on you. There's the only way to get rid of excess heat is just radiation. It has to radiate off of you, and that process happens slowly. And so, you know, if you cut down on reflectivity, then you could damage the satellites. So that's why there's an issue with that. People.
Yeah.
You know, people probably like, why don't they just paint them black? Be done with it. Like, you can't just do that. It'd be nice if you could, but, you know, it could damage the satellites.
Yeah, I want it, man.
Yeah.
I want it right now.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Becca's not here again to for her poetry, but I did pull up one of my all-time favorite quotes. Now I will read. This is based off of actually something Jesus said, our Lord and Savior.
There is power in
Oh
the red
shit!
letters.
I forgot.
Yeah.
I'd sent Steve-O the other thing.
Oh shit! Well,
but
it's too
that
late
was
now.
kind of Jesus related.
Too late now.
Okay.
Jesus.
All right.
Y'all remember Jesus said?
I'll just let it play while he's reading.
Yeah, just let it play. I guess
Jesus said, "Give a man a fish, feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, feed him for the rest of his life."
Was it
well,
Jesus
this is
that said that?
Yeah, it was Jesus. Yeah, that was Jesus. This is from the late great Terry Pratchett. I'd say probably the funniest fiction writer of all time. He passed away a few years ago. Build a man a fire and he'll be warm for a day. Set a man on fire and he'll be warm for the rest of his life.
That's awesome.
The great Terry Pratchett.
He will be. It's true.
Thank you guys for a great podcast. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Thank you to Haywood Banks for our theme song. We will never talk over you.
Never
Haywood.
once.
Not a single time. Until I do the dubstep remix.
Yeah.
I won't even ask you for permission.
Hey, it's like Creative Commons or something. Right?
Yeah, man. I'm just sampling, bro.
Parody.
Follow
Yeah,
us
what you gonna
on
say?
Twitter, where we will tell you, maybe give you hints of what we might be talking about, and also give you the link for the live show because we know how to do that now. Twitter.com/_verbal assault_. And we usually go live every Wednesday around 10:30. Usually we're a little bit late, but 10:30-ish.
You got to take the Patreon thing too.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
this is
yeah.
usually
Show
the
your
time of
support
the
because
push.
Patrick
you know
would be mad if you don't.
Yeah, Patrick's got to pay for the vacation he's on using your Patreon money. he says he's $2 a month shy of being able to go to Cozumel. Patreon.com/verbal assault.
Well, guys, if you would like some sous vide recipes or would like to know how to spell caltrops, you can just call 865-316-6955.
Yeah.
Or you can confess that you took Dave's cigarettes. Confess!
Confess, you
Shame!
bastard!
Shame
Right?
on you. And bring back
Sorry,
his old ass
bastard.
galaxy.
Turn
It
yourself
had
in.
sentimental value.
We may have mercy.
Come
You
on the
can't read
show.
books on an iPod.
Leave us a voicemail. We may show mercy.
You scab upon the skin of life. You oozy, pustulating, abscessed sore, open to the society of life and all that is.
Get it out, Dave. Get it out.
Yeah. Call him a
I
flesh
just-
protuberance.
I,
Dave's rage.
deuces.